Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the new viewers. So this video is a mindset self-development video. Don't worry, you will also have other trading videos. But today's subject is very important. In this second video, I will present you my subconscious reprogramming playlist. So what is this playlist about? It is an audio playlist composed of four audios that I listen to very often. For example, when I'm doing a long car ride, or even sometimes in my house, I listen to it just to refresh, some truths and some important concepts, because um, often we run into, our mind run into autopilot. And so if you forget about good habits and good and right thinking, you will, of course, get back to your old self, your old thinking, old habits, uh, some destructive habits also, which could get you off track and miss your objectives. So the prime objective of this playlist is really to, firstly, to get you into the right thinking if you are new to self-development, and then just to keep refreshing, the truth. And really, I selected like the four audios that for me are the most essential, the most straight to the point. It's not like audiobooks that talks about the people's life, or it's really straight truth, straight to the point. So each line that you hear contains some profound knowledge, profound truth uh, that you need to understand, not only on an intellectual level, because when you will hear it the first time, I think most of us, most of you will understand what they are saying on an intellectual level. It's not very hard to understand, even though some truths will hit you like really deep. But it's not, I've um, I've heard this playlist about maybe, I don't know, maybe 40 times. And every time I hear it again, I learn something new, or I discover something more deep and into the understanding. And it comes to subconscious understanding, emotional understanding, and not just logical, intellectual, conscious understanding. So why I'm doing this video now? Because I think that you must understand those basic principles described in these audios or videos before you get into the next videos, because I will be going very straight into deep subjects. Like you may get lost or very quickly if you don't have some basics in self-development. And I'm not into, in whatever I do, or trading or writing books or whatever, I don't like, to make, I mean, I go straight to the point. I try to make things clear, of course, but I will not talk about like very simple stuff or very simple principle that you you have access to in many videos and many books or whatever. I'm trying to get into deep subjects, interesting subjects for me as well, um, and trying to make you evolve at the same on the mental plane, of course, at the same level that I am now. And of course, the more I evolve, the more I will give you everything I know for free always. So let's start with this video to not trying to make this too long. So the 4 videos, you have The Strangest Secret, which is also a book. You can find the book version by Nightingale, and the audio is also by the same person. So Nightingale is very famous motivational speaker, which has made the Nightingale Conant, company about self-development. And I also own a recording, LP recording, vinyl, from his recording of Think and Grow Rich, which was written by Napoleon Hill, but he made his own condensed version in audio, which I like more than the book, because I think the book Think and Grow Rich is not too heavy, but it could have been simplified, and it has been simplified by Nightingale in his recording of Think and Grow Rich. It's a great summary, which I listen often uh, in uh, in my vinyl also. So the second one is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. The recording is also by Nightingale, but he reads, I think, the full book. So you can find the book version for, I think, $1 on Amazon. And for me, if you have not been reading my articles on my website, elysiumtradingempire.com, I talk about my book, my top book to read, top 5 of the best book I have ever read. So this one for me will always be a top one, because for me it is really the ground, the basis of all knowledge of truth. It's really the truth described in few words. Like the book, you could read it in one day. I think it's a 2-hour read, maybe something like this. And the more you read it, the more you get it from this book. So here you have the audio version, so that you will see in the link that I will provide in the end. Of course, we have Think and Grow Rich by Nightingale recording. And the last one, so those 3, you can find books version on Amazon or whatever bookstore you buy from. And the last one is not from a book. It's a video about Bob Proctor, audio talking about money. And a very important one, because money, of course, is a subject that we are all concerned about, interested about. So let's go straight into the first one, The Strangest Secret by Nightingale. So in each of these, I will just provide you with some key teachings, but of course, the purpose of this video is really to take a look at the playlist and to hear it entirely, because a few lines will not give you the necessary knowledge. Like it will give you 5% of all you can understand from the videos and the audios. So first, he says that success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So I think two things are important here. It's the progressive realization, so it's not the end goal, of a worthy ideal. Worthy ideal is not just an objective. It's really a vision made true. So a worthy ideal is what life, what is your dream life? Like, what is your vision of the ideal life for yourself? Of course, it cannot be the same as anyone else, you know. Each and every one of us, even though you want success, you know, we all want the same like type of stuff, but our view of success, our view of our dream home, dream car, our dream habits, a dream wife, whatever, are very different from one to another. So success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. To start with being successful, you must start with having a worthy ideal. So the first point, I always say it in my articles on my website or in my videos, like the starting point is having a vision. If you don't have a vision, you cannot go forward and realize it. So if you want to really start into like getting your dream life, you first have to describe your dream life in every point: financial, relationship, career goals. All this I describe in my article on my website talking about this. So I will let you go, and because I will not repeat everything, of course, in all videos, because otherwise my videos will be very long. So the progressive realization, it means that the path, you know, if you are working on it right now, even though you don't see any result, anything, the fact that you are working on realizing your vision, it means that you are a success. That's what he means in his book and audio recording. He also says that the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it is conformity. The fact that people conform and copy, you know, try to get, you know, in society's system, like, you know what I mean about this. You are not trying to be different, you are just trying to copy what everyone else is doing, because it's the easiest thing to do, of course. So if you talk about trading, you are going into selling some signal service and all this because everyone is doing this and profiting from this, even though they don't know how to trade, you know. They just sell signals, they don't take risk, and they take the money of people just by doing some analysis and whatever. So people will go with goals succeed because they know where they are going. Same thing than what I've said above. If you don't have goals, you cannot go forward because you don't know where you are going. It's as simple as that. If you take the car and you don't know where you are going, you cannot move forward. You can go in circle, you can go whatever type of path, but you cannot go forward if you don't have a destination. So here is the key to success, according to Earl Nightingale. We become what we think about all day long. I think this is one of his really most profound teaching that he say during even in other recording. He always make the point that we become what we think about. It's the main point of all teaching and truth. And it's not only about Earl Nightingale. I think every teacher, every truth, teacher or guru or whatever will tell you that we become what we think about. But why is that? This is what we will see in other videos where I will go in more depth about the subject. And also, every one of us is a sum total of his own thoughts. He is where he is because that's exactly where he wants to be. And what you think today or tomorrow will shape your future. So this is a hard truth to bear. You are the sum of you are the sum total of your own thoughts. And you are where you are now because that's exactly where you want to be. That's a very hard truth to bear because you would say, for example, I want to be a successful salesman or successful trader or whatever. And you say you want it. Of course, everyone wants to be a millionaire. Everyone wants to be fit. Everyone wants to travel the world and everything. Everyone wants, but there are different kind of wants, you know. And I remember a video, I think a very famous video about Eric Thomas. He said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you will be successful. And he said that to a man which had his head, underwater. And underwater, what you want is to breathe. And when you keep your head underwater, someone keeps your head underwater for sometimes. What you want above anything else in the world is just to get out and take a breath. And this is the difference between wanting something like, yeah, I just want to succeed, and really wanting to succeed. You will do anything. And from this moment, when you really want something, you will spend most of your time, if not all your time, and all your energy focusing on this task until it's done. I think most of us, from time to time, for example, if you want to buy a new computer, I know most people, maybe not most, but personally, I will spend hours and hours and hours of research, trying to find like the best computer at the best price, etc., looking at videos, tests, reviews about the company, about the PC, etc. What is the best configuration? What is the best company? Etc. So I will focus most of my energy on this until I find the best computer that fits really my ideas of it, being the best. And so this is really wanting something. So to know if you really want something or if you just kind of want it, the difference is where you spend most of your time, most of your energy on. So if you spend most of your time and energy on something, it means that you really want this. But if you just want something like this and then you forget about it, on an everyday basis, you don't think about it, it doesn't mean that you really want it, this kind of want. And so what I'm talking about is you are where you are because that's exactly where you want to be. And so if you are not the success now, or you don't have the results you want, it's because, um, for example, it's because you don't pursue it's not that you are not working hard enough. I think most people, um, when they pursue a goal, they are working every day, to achieve it. And if you are seeing some progress, well, it's the matter. It's not, you cannot like, it's not because you want something with all your heart and etc. that you will have it now. But if you want it like this, then you will at least see some progress, or learn some new things about the subject, or getting closer to it. And if you are not getting closer to it, it's because maybe you are more into the comfort zone. So for example, let's say you want to be fit or a certain weight. Of course you cannot drop 10 kilos in 2 days, but you can get closer to a goal every day, and or every week at least. And if you are not getting closer every week, probably it means that you could do more, but maybe you prefer to stay in the comfort zone. That's why maybe your results are not getting ahead, because you are not getting ahead. And life will push you to get ahead every time you need to. If you need some teachings, for example, or some discover something, life will give it to you, will hand it to you from a person or from a YouTube video or whatever, a book. And you will have to take the action, of course, of watching this video or of reading this book and applying the principle. Um, because there is nothing which is insignificant. Sometimes you may think, yeah, you have new things that are coming to your life and you think it's insignificant or too little, but those little things, those are the little things that will make you succeed. For example, in Instagram story, I saw someone watching ICT's video, and it was someone I was admiring for his skills in trading. And he said, yeah, ICT taught me everything or something like this. And so I went to watch ICT. I knew ICT before, but I never really watched seriously his videos. I think I watched like 2 or 3 videos randomly, but not the same way, like focused and with same serious uh, mindset. And when he said this in his story, there were 2 options. First one, I skip the story and I do nothing. Or second one, I see it as a sign for myself to get into a new level of trading. And so I went into ICT channel and I watched all the 2022 videos. And then I succeeded in passing the FTMO challenge phase 1 and 2 right after that. And I don't think it's luck or coincidence. No. It's because I was following, the flow of life, um, the opportunities that life gave me to become better. So at the end of this book, of his book, sorry, or his recording, Earl Nightingale talks about a 30-day test. And I say it does work from personal experience because the first FTMO I passed, I was following this 30-day test. So that's why it works from personal experience. And I recommend you to try it. So now let's talk about As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And of course, the recording is by Earl Nightingale. So you will often hear the same voice. So a man is literally what he thinks about, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. Same thing that we have just said before. So what you think about will shape and design your life and your character. Okay, if you think about healthy things, about money, about all this, you will build your character around this thinking. That's why it's important to think about what you want and not about what you don't want or bad scenarios, etc. So a noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but is a natural result of a continued effort in right thinking. So always the same thing. You see, you must admire some people in your life. Personally, for example, I admire Greg Plitt for his godlike character, his integrity, his courage, the way he speaks about truth, Um, and I know he's not born like this. I know it's the result of his continued effort in right thinking. He kept thinking what he is now to become who he is now. Know what I mean? That's why, for example, to become a successful person, you must think like a successful person now, not after. Often we take the thing in reverse, We say like, yeah, for example, once I'm fit or once I get the abs, I will keep eating lightly or, make one cheat day a week or a month. But how do you get into this result if you don't do it now? No? Or for example, if we go into the trading field, once I get my FTMO challenge, once I pass my FTMO challenge, um, I will just take like the best opportunities. I will stay consistent. I will stay disciplined or whatever. But this will never happen if you don't do it now also. So a change of diet will not help a man who will not change his thoughts. Clean thoughts make clean habits. I think this is like a very profound truth because some people try to change everything on the surface, but until you change internally, any rearrangement of the surface will be vain because it will go back to your old habits and old results, of course, because everything happens in thoughts. The first cause is always thought. Always, always, always. No matter what happens in your life, you have once imagined or thought about it. Even though you don't recognize it, it's the truth. So if you then don't change your thinking, and I mean change your thinking, it's not a one-day change. It's a habit. It's a habit to change your thinking. So you have, of course, to make the first step, like to change your thinking from bad thoughts to good thoughts, from thoughts of lack to thoughts of abundance, or from thoughts of thoughts of destructive thoughts to constructive thoughts, etc. And then you have to keep those for a long period of time, for weeks at least. And if you can keep it for months, then it will make clean habits. And of course, 100%, you will see results in your life. Generally, the results can come after the first day you have changed your thinking, because if you change your thinking, you are attracting new information, new thoughts, new opportunities into your life. And then it can, if you act on these opportunities, on these thoughts, ideas, it will get you even higher in consciousness, in vibration, in, you know, optimism, whatever you want. It will get you a higher, better feeling, and you will attract even higher, better opportunities, better things, etc., etc. It's a loop, you know. And of course, the reverse is true. If you start, let's say you are into a clean thinking, always thinking good, etc., about what you want in a positive manner, and then you have a bad day, you know, bad news, etc. Clean thinking will not make you avoid bad news, you know. It will not make bad news disappear or bad situations. But if in these days you give more meaning to the situation and get back to bad thoughts, destructive thoughts, bad emotion, and you give your energy to these feelings and moods and thinking, you can very quickly get back into bad habits, bad life, you know, smoking, I don't know, drinking, partying every day, you know, not making things to make your, you know, aligned with your goal and vision. And this is a loop also. If you start, for example, let's say you stopped smoking and started working out, and now bad news happen, and the day after you start smoking. Then you will also stop, very probably stop working out, or working out less and less until you stop. And then you have to replace the habit of working out. And you will probably replace it by the habit of, I don't know, playing games or partying or whatever. You know what I mean? The thing is, if you start building good habits and more good habits, etc., you have no place for bad habits. However, if you start quitting your good habits, you will have time to replace them by bad ones, and it can loop until you replace all your good habits and thinking by bad habits, etc. And you know the result at the end. So circumstance does not make the man, it reveals him to himself. One of my favorite line from James Allen. So when you see your results, circumstance is like result, it's very often the same thing in your life. It does not make you, it reveals who you are. It means that if you are not content with the result you have, it's because of yourself, and it reveals your internal state. You know, outer result always reveal internal state. It's not the reverse. People think because of external result, you become, you know, you feel bad and you become a bad man or failure. No, no, no. If you feel like a failure, circumstance will reveal it to you. But if you feel like a success and you think successfully, you think like you have to, the circumstance will match. Always. Always. And there are two types, I think, of people. There are people who are shaped by circumstances. So they are a victim of circumstance. And so they will not get anywhere in life. And there are people who know that they are shaping their circumstances, you know? And those people are in a powerful state because you know you are the builder of your circumstances. Therefore, you can change them. And you know you are responsible for them. So you are in a state of power. Whereas if you are in a victim state, like, yeah, I'm poor, I'm broke, I cannot do anything. Of course, you will never do anything. Your life will never change. Life does not change by chance or luck. It changes by a change of state internally, always. I think it's very important to note that down or inside your head or whatever. Men do not attract which they want, but which they are. That's the same thing that we have said over and over. Even though you want something, it does not mean that you will attract it. You will attract it when you are in the state of attracting this thing. You will attract abundance when you are in the state of abundance. You will attract success when you are in the state of success. So what is a state of success? It's thinking like the successful person, taking action, the same habit, same action. That's why people follow successful people, because they want to know about their habits, their lifestyle, etc. And it's not about following, just like looking at their life. It's also about taking from their habits and appropriate them to yourself. You have to take and apply. At some time in your life, watching won't make you successful. You can watch thousands of videos of successful people and still remain the same. It's not until you take action that you will advance and become successful. So men imagine that thought can be kept secret, but it cannot. It rapidly crystallizes into habit, and habit solidifies into circumstance. This also is very powerful because there are some people, you know, if you take like the gossiping people, that's a very simple example because even those, like, you don't know a person. I mean, you know it just because you know, you have seen that person, but you have never talked to her, you know, to that person. But you can know by telepathy that what she's thinking about you. That's why often people tell you you can know from someone's eye, you know, eye contact, if he's lying or not. Because in the eye, you can see what people are thinking. Not exactly, but you can see at least if he is thinking good or bad about you. And people think that if they don't say what they think, it will no one will know about it. But that's false. If you think bad about a person, he will feel it. It's energy. Thinking is energy, and that's why someone you think about a friend that you have not talked with for like I don't know 5 or 10 years, and randomly you think about that person, and he calls you the same day or like few days after. That's no coincidence, no. Because thoughts are energy which are transmitted to the universal mind, you know, and a thought cannot be kept secret. It's impossible. Like, that's why also, if you lie to someone, one day or another, he will know the truth. And even if he don't hear it word for word, inside inside him, he will know it, you know? For example, if you cheat on your girlfriend, even though um, even though it is like kept secret, no one talks about it, no one knows about it, only you. And even if the person that you have cheated your wife with disappear or is dead or whatever, the secret is not dead. The thought is here, and your girlfriend will know about it. it she will um, she will feel it, you know. And feeling is very powerful. Feeling is truth, you know. Sorry. Okay, so now I think there is a last thing. Yeah, all that man achieves and all he fails to achieve is a direct result of his own thoughts. So I will let you think about this for a few moments. What does this mean? It means that all the power you have as a human being is contained in your thinking. So all, you can resume all this in all, is a direct result of your own thoughts. All that happens into your life, everything. So what you must focus on uh, to master your life is this, your thinking. That's the only thing that matters in your life. Because you will see in future videos, you have no free will of action. The only free will you have is to choose your thoughts and therefore your feeling, how you feel about events that happens into your life. You know, your life is like a movie. Every day there are events that happens, and it's how you react, how you think about those events that will shape your life and future circumstances. Every day, watch your thoughts, observe how you react to things. Don't be critical, you know, just observe how you react and you will understand by yourself the truth. Because I've read, you know, maybe, I don't know, 50 books about, maybe more, I don't know, about self-development, probably more than 50. And truth and etc. And some very deep book. I've seen many videos, etc. But the truth, you can know it only with yourself. Even though you know it intellectually, it can only click when you realize it emotionally. And you can realize things emotionally only with yourself. It's an inner conversation, you know, inner talk with yourself. This is the only way you can know the truth. It's by observing how you react, changing your rethinking, and seeing how it affects your life. It's all down to your experience. Even though you know something is true 100%, emotionally, you can know it. You cannot know it's true unless you experience it. That's very important. So that's why it's important to start the process of right thinking the earlier as possible, because because it is a skill also, you know. It is a skill that you have to develop, and as many other skills, it takes years and years to master. So the earlier you start, the more often you apply, and the quicker you will master your life, your outcomes, and everything. Third book and third audio, Think and Grow Rich. I really, really love the recording by Earl Nightingale. To be honest, I like it, the book, but I won't read it a second time, you know. Or maybe I read some chapters, some passage, you know, that I know are important. But for me, I will always go back to the recording. So you would not have the desire unless you were capable of its achievement. So whatever you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. That's the main philosophy of the book Think and Grow Rich. So if you have a certain desire, it certainly means that you can achieve it. And you will achieve it if you keep this desire close to your heart. If you keep working on it. So that's what Napoleon Hill says. Then, by getting a mental image of yourself already having accomplished your main desire over and over again, you will master the face you need. So this is more deep to explain, but if you keep in your head your goal, not as a future thing, but as already accomplished now. If you keep this image in your mind and this feeling which comes with it, because when you think about something, a feeling arises from this thinking. You know, it's automatic. Like, for example, sorry, I got interrupted. Someone was knocking at the door. So yes, you have to make the future a present fact. This is something we'll talk a lot more about in future videos, because this is a very hard concept to understand. So I'm not getting into depths into this video because this is not the point, but you have to know that if you can hold the feeling of already being the person you want to be, already having it, then you will attract, manifest very quickly the thing you want into your life. Man's only limitation lies in his development and use of his imagination and subsequent motivation to action. So just to know, limitations are always self-imposed. It means that your limitations are yours because no one has the same limitation. Each and every one imagine in his own mind what he is capable of doing and what he is not capable of. But that's only a lie. That's only a limitation. For example, in your head, I don't know, some people can imagine having a 3K salary, but they cannot imagine making a 10K per month. In their mind, it does not click. For them, it's impossible. While for everyone, it's possible to make 10K a month. I don't know. For example, you get a degree in to become a lawyer or something like this. a doctor, whatever. You work for the degree, you get the job, etc. Or you open a business, a restaurant, or there are thousands, millions of ways of earning 10K a month. Or maybe, let's say you have a 2K salary, you save 1K per month, and you invest it. I don't know, you make a portfolio, and you invest in a portfolio that can make you a 10% return per year, and you grow this account in many years, it will make you 10K a month, you know? So your limitations are inside your head only. And if you use your imagination right, you can get ideas, opportunities to get ahead and to get what you want. Imagination is everything I want to say. But you will discover, and we'll talk also about this later. And I think I already made an article on imagination on my website. It's on one of the last articles I have written. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, of course, the main philosophy of this book. So if you can conceive something in your mind, in your head, and if you can believe it, of course, you will achieve it. Make a decision quickly and change it slowly. This is something I can make it, that can I make clear now. So successful people, they make the decision quickly and they stick to it. They don't change it. And if they change it slowly. What does it mean? I made the decision to become a profitable trader. I make this decision one day, like this, in one day, one second, I made this decision. And until up to now, I never change this decision. But I know I will not do this during my whole life. I know this because I have other passions, I have other projects I want to do, but I will start changing this decision only when I have made enough profits from this decision, from this project. If you start changing, I know some people that change every year. They change their project. They change they make decision every 6 months. They change. Every time they fail, they change. They make another decision. They want to trade. Then they try this for 6 months. They stop. Then they start, making a store on Amazon. They stop. Then, each time a new trend appear, they invest in it. They see that it doesn't work, and they change. So, for example, they will go into the Bitcoin field, trying to invest in some cryptos. It does not work. So they will change. They will invest in stocks, or they will change and start buying properties. That those are people that are changing, making decision every time, like slowly and changing quickly, because each 6 months they make a new decision, and they are very slow, to make a decision. They don't know what to do in their life, and so they just go with the trend, and trends can stay for a long time before they change and make another decision and they never stick with their decision. They are quick movers. They are opportunists. I don't know if it's the right word in English, but in French, we say someone is opportunist when he sees any opportunities he sees, he wants to take, but he never stick with one thing, you know. And of course, he never has a steady goal, steady project, steady income, or whatever. He's always changing. So his life is not he cannot go anywhere doing something like this. You know, you cannot master a skill or go into a direction if you change your direction every time, you know. And your subconscious mind cannot remain idle. If you don't plant any desire, it will feed itself from your everyday thoughts. This is what we call conformity also. That's why people conform. It's because they don't have any desire. So they just go with the flow, with the trends, with the what people are doing and saying, and you know. So if you are not your master, you will become a slave of someone else's plan, a slave of society's system, whatever. You will just take whatever people are handing you, or whatever thoughts you see in the TV, you know, whatever you feed yourself from, you will take, and it will run your life. Instead of being the master of your mind, you are a slave to your mind. And the last one, Bob Proctor, you must know him from The Secret, you know, the movie in 2006, or from the book, if you have read the book. He's one of my favorite, also personal development character. And he really made a huge impact in my life, in my thinking. I followed many of his free programs. I read 2 or 3 of his books. I've watched many YouTube videos from him. Very life-changing and very influential person. Sadly, he passed away this year. But, you know, someone is never gone until, you know, no one remembers him, you know. When, like, you know, he leaves a legacy, and there will always be someone talking about Bob Proctor. So he's always alive. Someone becomes dead when no one talks about him anymore, you know. And so that's why some people that died with their body maybe 100 years ago, they are still alive today, you know. And we talk about them still today, so they are still alive. And I hope every one of you watching me will build a legacy. That's why it's important, you know, for everyone to live. That's why I do also videos on YouTube, write books and whatever. Whatever I can do to leave something to others, to learn from, to, you know, to share something with others, I'm happy with it. I do it, even though I'm not very good at it, or I don't know how I am as a YouTuber, but I never saw myself talking for hours about subject, because in school I was not good, you know, at speech and all this type of stuff. I was better at writing. That's why I started with writing articles and writing books, because I'm better at it. But I know some people are better listeners than a reader. That's why it's important that I impact everyone and not just the readers, you know. Some people will see my videos but have never read my articles, my books, or whatever. So it's important to do even things that you are not good at, but to impact the lives of people, because why are we living here on Earth if it's not for sharing what we know, what sharing also our joy, or our feelings, our gratitude. It's all about this. Living is about this. So the laws of money. Bob Proctor says that money is not the paper you fold in your pocket and you put in your pocket. It's an idea. Money is energy. You know, someone is rich, he will behave rich, not because a number in his bank account, or no, all this is fiction. What is a number in a bank account? You know, it's not true. It's the idea you have of it. Let's say you have 5 billion in your bank account. It's the idea that you are rich because you have 5 billion and that you can pay and purchase whatever you want. That's the idea of it that make you feel good and happy. Let's say now your bank account is at zero. You feel bad, right? And now I tell you that you have won the lottery. Even though the money is not yet on your bank account, it makes you happy. Why? Because that event makes you think about all the things you want, the life you want, the thing you will purchase. It will awake in you the feeling that are already there. They are already in you, in your mind, in your heart. But they are sleeping because you are more focused on the present fact that you don't have any money and that all those desires of your heart are impossible to achieve. And therefore you feel bad, and therefore you attract bad thoughts, you receive bad information, and you cannot act on those, you cannot receive good ideas, you cannot receive, ideas. Good ideas, they often come when you feel good, not when you feel bad. Because when you feel good, you are open. Your vibration makes your mind open to receive good ideas. And so money is an idea. It is energy. It is something you attract. It's not something that you have to work hard necessarily for it. You know what I mean? So poor people are poor because they have a poverty consciousness. What is a poverty consciousness? It is thinking, hearing, talking, feeling, and seeing lack and limitations. So when you talk about other people, what are you saying? Take a few moments. Remember the conversation you have with other people. What are you hearing? What are you thinking? What are you talking? Most often, because we are running in autopilot, we talk about lack and limitation. See the world now, we are in a world crisis. See the coronavirus, see the war, see see the price inflation, all this, because they talk about this in the TV and they want you to talk about this with other people. And even if you don't talk about what you see on the TV, because personally, I don't watch TV. Now it's been maybe a year that I didn't watch TV. But even though I don't watch TV, people will come to me and talk about what they heard on the TV. So you see, it is like a sickness. It is contagious. It is like the flu. Even though you don't make yourself, on the vibration of the flu, people will come and talk about the flu to you. They will, they will um, um, they will make you have the flu, by talking about this. Sorry, that's why you need to master your thinking. Because when you are master of yourself, even though someone talks about the flu to you, you just don't pay attention to it, or you change the subject, or you don't hear the flu. Even if they talk flu, even if they talk lack and limitation, you don't hear lack and limitation. You hear in your mind, um, it will transmute what they talk to you into something else. And this is something that happened to me after I got all those teachings, etc. Now some people talk to me like, yeah, you see, it's a very hard time, etc. And when they say this to me, I hear, no, it's a good time to invest, or it's a good time. For example, when we were in lockdown, most people were talking bad about lockdown. And personally, the first lockdown, it was not the first one, the second lockdown. For me, it was the best opportunity of my life to stay at home, to study self-development, to study the truth, to invest in myself, etc., without having the constraints of going out and spending time with people or at work or whatever, It was the best opportunity, I think, for most people in this earth, the lockdown, to work on and invest time in their self. But sadly, it's a sad truth. Most people cannot spend time with themselves. They cannot because they are not, they want to keep, busy. They want to keep busy because they don't want to see the truth. And you can see the truth only when you stay with yourself. Take some moments each day, at least 10 minutes each day, without any distraction, alone in a room, or alone in the nature, or where there really only you and yourself and nature, if you want. And listen to yourself, listen to your heartbeat. Like, just get at peace. Don't think about anything. You don't need to have, a meditation process, all this. It's not required. Just sit calmly and listen to your thoughts. That's it. The only thing to do is this. Just stay calm, listen to your thoughts, listen to your desire, your ideas, etc. If you have, during this session, meditation or whatever, great ideas or etc. that arise into your mind, well, note it down. Don't act rightly on them. Just note the idea, even on your phone. Just note it down. Then when the idea is gone, you put your phone away and you keep with your thinking, with the calmness. So let's get back to Bob Proctor's teachings. So people are poor because they think, hear, talk, feel, and see lack and limitation, while rich people have a prosperity consciousness. So the first thing is they understand that there is an infinite source of supply. They don't see lack. Lack does not exist in their mind. They know that if there are millionaires and they want to be a billionaire, they don't see any lack. They see that they can be it, There is no fear, there's no doubt. They know they can achieve what they want. The second thing is that they take full responsibility for their lack as for their successes. They know that if they fail to achieve a certain thing, it's not because of external circumstances, it's because of them, their internal state. They take full responsibility. And also for their success, it's very important. They don't say, "Oh, I succeeded because I'm a lucky person," or it does not mean that you have to brag about yourself, but you can be grateful. For example, I succeeded in my FTMO challenge, not because of ICT, but thanks to his teachings, which made my skill, which made improved my skill, I succeeded. So the success is mine, but I'm still very grateful for ICT's teachings. But these teachings, I attracted them into my life. It's not like he handed him the teachings and told me, you have to study this now, watch all the video or you are fired, you know? No, no, no. It's I decided to watch his teachings, which he made for free. I took notes, I applied those teachings, and I succeeded. You have to take also the responsibility of your success. If you hand your success into someone else, um, it's not good for yourself. It's not good for your, it means you are not conscious that you made it. For you, it's someone else who made it for you, you know, and therefore you cannot reproduce it, or you cannot reproduce success in another field, you know. And also, money cannot stay with a person who has a poverty consciousness. Of course. So if you won the lottery, I know people who are millionaire, but they live like people who have you know, the minimum salaries and minimum wage. Why? Because they are afraid to spend their $1 million. They are afraid to become poor again. Why? Because they see lack and limitation. So they are millionaire with a poverty consciousness. That therefore they are poor. They are poor people. They live like poor people. They think, hear, talk, feel, and see lack and limitation. They think lack because they don't think that they can make the million again. You know what I mean by that? Therefore, with their families, they must talk about, yeah, don't spend too much because we only have 1 million or 2 million. If you spend that amount of money, we will not be a millionaire anymore, etc. So you can still be a millionaire and have a poverty consciousness. And therefore, you are poor because you spend, you have the habits of someone who is poor. Like you live like a poor person. There is no difference between you and another poor person who has zero in his bank account, because you have the same habits, you have the same thinking than this person, even though you have 2 million in your bank account. However, someone who has a prosperity consciousness, even though, let's say he had 10 millions, he loses everything. He loses everything because, for example, he made bad investments or whatever happens. We don't care. He know he will get all this back in a few time because he has a prosperity consciousness. He will take 2 jobs maybe to make some money, which he will invest or make something with the money, but he know he will get back to where he was because he cannot stay poor. If he is rich in his mind, he cannot stay poor. It's impossible. So money cannot stay with a person who has a poverty consciousness. And in the other hand, money cannot stay away from a person who has a prosperity consciousness. So some people, like I said, won the lottery and they spent everything and they became poor again. While some people were millionaire, lost everything, and they became millionaire again because money cannot stay away from those persons. So now, the most important thing is not this video. The most important thing is that you will find the link to my playlist and you will have the audio of all these videos. You will think that all these videos are into the same channel, a channel called Vibo, which I really, really like because it's a channel that has a very nice speech, you know, about from Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, even some people like Jay-Z, from very successful people, and from all the teachers like also Jim Rohn, etc. And with the background music, good vibes. So this is one of my favorite channel for listening to speeches. And you can find, of course, all the speech, you can find them without the audio, without the background music, of course. But I share with you those links because it is my playlist and you can do whatever you want with this. So you will find the link in the description of the video. Those links are just for source purpose, you know, you don't need to copy them or whatever. The important link is the link you will find in the description. So thanks for watching. Of course, you always have the link to my Instagram and the link to my website in which you can find the articles about self-development, which I encourage you to read about. And yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time.